Hey everyone, I'm Coach Arlen Bento Jr. Welcome to the Shoot Par Now Golf Show. James Stammer is under the weather, so he won't be with us tonight. And I had to find someone in the last minute, and guess who I found? Hi, George.
How you doing?
So this is my son, George. If you've been watching the channel, we have our series, Scruffy to Scratch. We've been having fun with that. I've been working with George, trying to help him with his game. We're going to go into a little detail about how that's going and what's going on. But before we get started, I do want to thank our sponsor tonight. This is called the One Club Trainer. This is a great product if you want to work on speed. This canister moves in the swing, right? So when you make a good swing, it's going to move and give you like a snapping feeling. It comes with different types of bands, so you can make it harder or you can make it easier depending on your skill level. But the whole idea is to teach you how to swing faster. So this is a great product. If you want something to help you get more distance and power, you want to check out the One Club Trainer. There's a link in the description, okay? So anyway, back to what George and I have been doing. So the whole idea here is that we're going to try to get George to become a better player, right? And he's going to learn through my lesson program and his training, and we're going to see how it goes. I have a very, very good program. We call it Shoot Par Now. It's a system to learn from. And George hasn't even really done any of the Shoot Par Now stuff. We're just kind of working on his swing, trying to get the club square. But I'm not sure if you even read the Shoot Par Now. Have you even read it? Not really, right?
No.
Yeah. So he'll get into it. He's been watching me do some of my classes, and he's been kind of helping me in the golf shop and helping me at the center, so he's learning. But Shoot Par Now, so I'll tell you what Shoot Par Now is, just so you, in case you never heard it. So the whole idea is that most people come to golf and they can't make par, right? Par is hard. So what we did is we kind of created a program. This is based on coaching all these kids that, you know, you're kind of getting a feel for that. So we start everyone next to the hole, like 25 yards. That's called level one. And we've already taught them how to putt a little and chip a little. So the goal is to make a little chip shot, get on the green and try to 3-putt, and we play 9 holes. So if they make 4 on every hole, they shoot 36, which is par. So the idea of Shoot Par Now is, can you go to 25, hit a chip, and 3-putt? Most people say, yeah, I think you could do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so after you complete that, you want to go to 50 yards. Now you're making a little bigger swing, though. So it's a little bigger swing. You got to try to land it on the green. If you do, all you got to do is 3-putt. That's your next level. Then when we get to 100 yards, you're actually starting to swing the golf club, right? Mm-hmm. So for a lot of players, especially new players, it's really hard for them to get a ball to the green, chip it on, and now they got a 2-putt. And so Shoot Par Now is based on working from 25 back to 200 yards, developing really good putting skills, developing really good chipping skills, starting to understand how far all your clubs go, and then just moving around the golf course and getting better. So when you start to break into that part, you're going to still do that program.
Okay.
And we're going to see if you can. So right now, just off the top of your head, if we play 9 holes from 25 yards, it's right in front of the green, can we shoot par?
Probably.
Yeah, you can shoot par.
I probably could.
Yeah. Now,
you're right.
at 50, that's so what's your 50-yard shot?
Yeah.
Not 50 yards now. So 25 yards right in front.
Yeah.
50 yards. I forget. What do you hit 50 when we practice? What club would that be? Like 50?
56.
56, but small 56, right? So you would hit 56 small shot green. I'm not saying 2-putt. You got to just 3-putt, right? Yeah. But you're going to 2-putt a lot because I think you're good there. Now, 100 yards, what are you going to hit?
Pitching wedge.
You sure? 100 yards now. That's not a full pitching wedge for you.
No.
It's like 3/4 pitching wedge.
Yeah.
Now, you also have that gap in your bag, but you don't like the gap, do you?
Yeah.
You're not comfortable with it. You feel like it's too short. Yeah, plus because we upgraded your clubs, the ones we gave you. So we might have to take your gap wedge and make it longer or find something that matches. So anyway, at 100, you would hit a 3/4 pitching wedge type club. And again, this is interesting. So at 100 yards, believe it or not, making 4 on every hole for 9 holes is not that easy.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of players that I coach that are good players. And, like I would say they're, okay. So let's talk about like Scruffy, right? So Scruffy to Scratch, you want to shoot 80, like break 90 and get into the middle 80s, low 80s, right?
Yeah.
Which I think you are pretty close now. But if you could play Shoot Par Now at 200 yards, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, level 5 in the system, right? You know, I only had 2 players that shot par last year out of all the guys I trained that are kind of like lower 80s players. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way. This is just because it's hard.
Yeah.
And again, so at 200 yards, what do you think you would hit as a tee shot at 200 yards? Every hole is a par 4 now. It's not a par 3. You just got to get it by the green. So what, 5 iron or 6 iron? Yeah. And that would probably leave you between, 10 to 25 yards, which is just like level 1 of shoot par now. You see how it connects? So you keep working your way back. You keep working on stuff that you get good at. And before you know it, you control the ball. So once you kind of get control of 200, which is your first test, your real big test will be that. And then the question is, can you go to tee box, drive it in play? Okay, so let's look at the golf course we play, the Saints, right? So you've hit really good drives on hole 1.
Yeah.
So we've had shots, I don't know what the hole is, 350 or something like that, but you've had 100 yards into that hole.
Yeah.
And we haven't hit a ball from 100 yet, you and I, on that hole next to the green. Where do you go a lot?
The sand over there on the right.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably hit it to the right 3 or 4 times, right? Okay. So, but that's something we're working on.
Yeah.
But if you played it from 100 yards on every hole, you would sort of like, get used to how you're
Figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you would just get comfortable. And then you would just work your way. So that's the whole Shoot Par Now thing. If you're interested in that, there's a link. Check out shootparnow.com. Sign up for my newsletter, and I'll give you 3 free videos that show you my follow-through video, my backswing video, my downswing video. No obligation. Just want to share with you how we start people coaching. If you like the Shoot Par Now program, we have my own online learning app that helps with that. And the app kind of guides you through the program. So anyway, that's what Shoot Par Now is. Now, let's go back and talk a little bit about what we're working on, okay? So I know you don't like to talk a lot. It's okay. But what do you think's been the biggest thing right now that's been helping you get a little better? What would you say that the biggest thing is? You told me it was P5 and...
Turning my elbow.
Okay, so who do you been following that turns his elbow? Who do you follow online that you keep telling me you've been watching all?
Bryson.
Yeah. So what do you like about Bryson?
Got some emotion.
You like his emotion?
Yeah.
You think he's passionate?
Yeah.
He is pretty, and Bryson's entertaining. Like he's fun to watch. But you were telling me earlier today when I called you, you were saying like he really sends it though. He really hits.
Too. Yeah.
Don't you think that's why all the young guys like him?
Yeah.
He's very popular because he hits it so hard.
Yeah.
So those of you that are watching this, right? Hitting it hard is fun. Okay. It's a lot harder as you get older, right?
Yeah.
But hitting it hard is still part of technique. And if your technique isn't good, okay, so let's talk about technique, right? So these are your fundamentals, right? You have to have a good grip. So show me what your grip looks like right here in front of you. So I think George sometimes has his right thumb a little bit too on the side of the grip. But again, that's okay if you can't quite turn the club, that's not bad. But the grip should be relatively, this sits on top, this pad sits on the grip, and this pad will sit right on top of the thumb. And you want to see some V's, right, that are formed to your right shoulder, right? But if you look at Bryson's grip, you see some interesting things because he holds his hands like this, right? Yeah. Now, the other day when we were playing, we were having a hard time driver. We kind of lost driver, right? And I mentioned to you, try to get your left elbow at the target. So just in front of the camera, just show us what that looks like, right? See that elbow, how he rotates the elbow towards the target. Now, before you like roll your eyes and go, that's going to work, that's what Bryson does. And the reason why he does it is because Bryson is trying to create a swing that doesn't have a lot of moving parts. So his idea is if he can get his arm really straight and his elbow here, he doesn't have to worry about timing the club face. Because even though he feels like he doesn't do it, because Bryson will say like he doesn't use his wrist a lot, there is movement and flexion and hinge and things going on, right? But this is what I've always told people about this. Okay, so I know it's hard to see here, but if I set up to hit the ball like this with my elbow down and this part up, right? So that's where I start. When I finish, I'll be right there, which sometimes leaves the face open. Now what Bryson does, or what I agree is like when we turn this thing over just a little bit like that, right? So that makes the grip stronger, elbow out. When you go to hit, what does it make you want to do? Square the face. And if you square the face, the ball doesn't go to the
right.
Yeah, and that's the whole point that we're struggling with, right? So he's been working really hard at getting the club into the right downswing position, call it P5,
Yep.
and then trying to get the club square. So if you've been watching the Scruffy to Scratch, it's getting better, but it's also getting worse.
Yeah.
Because there's moments, right, where it's like it's there and then it's not. Because I'm changing his feel, and his feel is very fast. So he's big, he's strong, and he can swing the club. You know, he can swing a 7-iron over 100 miles an hour easily.
Yeah.
And so remember we were talking about, I told you, so I was sharing with him that I used to have that speed too, and I really didn't have my technique dialed in the way that I coach it. And so I always had to play underneath my swing power ability. And I think that's why my swing looks so smooth. It's because that's the only thing that worked for me when I was trying to play. And it didn't work for me great. Like I couldn't make the tour with it, right?
Yeah.
I hit it far, but I never, ever got to play with my full power. It was always, I would always play probably too far under my natural ability, right? I'm not talking my like off the chart ability. I'm talking just, I could have swung a lot more aggressively, but my technique let me down. So when it comes to him, I don't want him to have to do that. And I think, don't you think you kept saying that you were doing that?
Yeah.
That you had to do what?
Turn it down.
Yeah. So you kept like, so it's like you're holding back your ability.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to do that in golf. We want to learn how to nurture that ability. So his only problem is when we get fast, the face stays open.
Yeah.
So we're working on elbow, working on P5, trying to get the wrist down. So that's going to be kind of like what we're going to be talking about, you know, in our Scruffy to Scratch. And we just wanted to make sure, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood what Shoot Par Now is about. A lot of people don't. You know, they see Shoot Par Now. They always made fun of it. They're like, what are you doing? Nobody shoots par. It's so hard. I said, yeah, but you don't understand the system. We've coached thousands of people through Shoot Par Now. I mean, thousands. And the success rates have been really good. We're not talking, my core business is to help people get to golf. We live in Florida. I have a lot of retirees, a lot of new players. And I actually enjoy new players. I really like coaching players to the game. I really like my junior program, especially my older kids, the ones that I can help become good high school players and potentially college players. I enjoy that a lot. I don't get a ton of younger guys that have the time, right, to get on the golf course and be able to practice in a way, because just like you, it's really hard to be full-time,
Yeah.
have a family. George has new baby. Mm-hmm. He's married, has a house, has mortgage, has all the stuff that grown-ups have, right? So where do you find time to work on stuff? You really don't. But luckily we get to do this and hit some balls with me. And well, it is lucky for now, right? Yeah. So we're sharing this with you guys because if you're out there and you're working hard, because I know there's a lot of guys. And what am I supposed to say? Who is it? Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Is that what we're doing? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. If you're watching, we're going to see what happens. But my coaching is, it could be a little rough. It's going to be a little rough because it changes a lot of stuff. And that's usually hard. But in time, it'll get a lot better. So anything you want to add to that? Nope.
I'll see you guys this weekend.
Big match coming up.
Big match.
All right. So well, anyway, thanks for watching this week's episode. Hope to have James Stammer back. Thanks, George, for filling in. He's got a really handsome smile, so it really helped out the show. Otherwise, I'm just talking about myself, which I can do, but it's still not. I still talk about myself. I talk a lot. Yeah, but that's what I do. Yeah, he's used to it. All right. Thanks for watching. See you real soon. And remember, shoot par now.